Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In our previous video, we learned how to create an article in Latex. Today, we're going to build on that knowledge by learning how to create and format a table in Latex. We'll be walking through different versions of a table that compares the nutritional information of two fruits, apples and bananas. Let's get started. Let's start by creating a basic table with 3 columns and 17 rows. To do this, we create a basic table with 3 columns, one for the nutrition facts, one for the values for apples, and one for the values for bananas. We use the and symbol to separate the cells in each row and the \\/ command to end each row. 2 alignment options. Next, let's talk about alignment options. You can mix and match these alignment options to create tables that meet your needs. For example, you could create a table where all columns are left aligned or where some columns are centered while others are right aligned. In this example, we center the text in the second and third columns by changing the column alignment from L, left aligned, to C, center aligned. Now let's add some lines to our table. You can add vertical lines to separate the cells in each column by changing the column alignment from C, center aligned, to C, center aligned with vertical lines. We also add horizontal lines between each row using the \line command. Next, let's add a title to our table. In Latex, you can use the \caption command inside a table environment to add a title. The table environment is used to define a floating object, which means that Latex will automatically position the table in the best location on the page. To do this, we first open a table environment using \begin table. Then, we use the \centering command to center the table on the page. Next, we add the title of the table using the \caption command and specifying the title text inside the curly braces. After that, we create the table itself using our tabular environment. Finally, we close both environments using \end tabular and \end table. The title of the table will be displayed above the table and will be automatically numbered by Latex. Now let's change the style of the text inside the table cells. To do this, we can use commands such as \text to make text bold and \texted to make it italic. In this case, we make the names of the fruits in the first row bold using \text, while making the text in the first column italic using \texted. Let's merge some cells horizontally. As we can see, some nutrition values for both fruits are identical for cholesterol, sodium, vitamin D, vitamin B6, and magnesium. So, we can merge these cells using the \multi-column command. This command allows us to merge multiple cells in a row into one cell. It takes 3 arguments: the number of columns to merge, the alignment of the merged cell, and its content. In this example, we use \multi-column to merge 2 cells in row 4. The first argument is 2 because we want to merge 2 columns, the second argument is C because we want it centered, the third argument is 0% dv, which is its content. You can use this technique to merge any number of cells in a table column. Next, let's talk about merging cells vertically. In Latex, it is not possible to merge cells vertically in the same way that you can merge cells horizontally using the \multi-column command. However, there are a few workarounds that you can use to achieve a similar effect. One way to merge cells vertically is to use the multi-row package. This package provides the \multi-row command, which allows you to create cells that span multiple rows. Here's an example that shows how to merge two cells vertically. In this example, we use the \multirow command to merge the first two cells in the third column. The first argument is 2, which means that we want to merge two rows. The second argument is asterisk, which tells Latex to use the natural width of the cell content. The third argument is 1% dv, which is the content of the merged cell. You can use this technique to merge any number of cells vertically in a table row. The first cell is not clear to read. It is better to use diagonal lines to divide cells in your table into two triangular sections. To create diagonal lines in Latex, you can use the diagbox package. Here's an example that shows how to create a simple table with a diagonal line. In this example, we use the diagbox package to enable the \diagbox command. We then use this command to create a diagonal line in the first cell of our table. The two arguments of the \diagbox command specify the text that should be displayed in the two triangular sections of the cell. In our example, the two arguments are nutrition facts and fruits. Next, let's look at rotated text. Rotated text can be used to display text vertically or at an angle in your table cells. To create rotated text in Latex, you can use the graphics package. Here's an example that shows how to create a simple table with rotated text. In this example, we use the graphics package to enable the \rotatebox command. We then use this command to rotate the apple and banana cells of our table by 90 degrees. The first argument of the \rotatebox command specifies the angle of rotation, and the second argument specifies the content that should be rotated. Let's change the font size and color inside our table cells. To do this, you can use standard Latex font commands such as \text color for colored text and \font size for changing font size. To change the text color, you can use this color package. The \text color takes two arguments. The first is the name of the color, and the second is the text that you want to color. For example, to make some text red, you would use the command \text color, red, your text. You can use any color that is defined in your document, either by loading a package that provides additional colors or by defining your own colors using the \define color command. The \font size command is used to change the size of the font. It also takes two arguments. The first is the size of the font, in points, and the second is the amount of space between lines, also in points. For example, to make some text 24 points in size with 30 points of space between lines, you would use the command \font size, 24, 30, \select font. This text is 24 points in size. Note that you need to use the \select font command after specifying the font size in order for it to take effect. Finally, we will show you how to easily generate a list of all the tables in your document, so that your readers can quickly find the information they need. Let's add some tables in our document. Now that we have created our table, let's see how we can generate a list of all the tables in our document. To do this, we simply need to add the \listoftable command to our document where we want the list of tables to appear. This command will automatically generate a list of all the tables in our document, along with their captions and page numbers. The list will be formatted according to the style of our document, so it will match the rest of our content. And that's it. With just a few simple commands, we can easily create a list of all the tables in our Latex document. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and we hope that you found it helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below.